Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to hang vinyl gutters. Here are the tools that you'll end up needing for this project. Now, I also used a utility knife half the way through, so it would be nice to have one of those handy as well. So right here I have the hangers that will be mounting the gutter to the wall. You want to make sure that you slide these onto the gutter before you put any corners and ends on, because you'll have to take those off in order to slide these on anyways. So do this first and then you can start putting the other attachments onto the gutter. Now this end piece, it has a seal on it already, but I'm not really trusting that seal too much, so I have some exterior caulking. This stuff it dries rubbery and will be flexible, so it can bend with the plastic and not break the seal. So I put a little bit of that on, and that should hold the joint just fine. I'll end up doing that with all the joints, making sure that they're completely sealed. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want this gutter leaking anywhere. Now once the glue is dry, it should hold really well, but I'm going to put in a couple screws on all the joints to hold it while the glue is drying. Now I've got the corner piece here. I'm going to overlap this about 1.5 inches inside of the gutter. This will give me plenty of space to glue and seal the joint, as well as put in a couple screws and hold it in place. To cut the vinyl gutters to length is super easy. You just use some tin snips and cut down on both sides. Once you get the sides cut, you can bend it up and cut the middle a lot easier. Now here's the downspout attachment. You could use this as a joint for two lengths to go together, or you could use it in the middle. And I chose to just slide it over top of the gutter, not use two separate pieces. That might weaken it a little bit. So I'm gonna have to cut a hole in the gutter itself to drain right down into the downspout. I'll be gluing this joint as well. I don't know if it's totally necessary, because the water will just be pouring right down into the funnel and down the downspout, but I'm gonna glue it just to be safe and so there won't be any leaks. In case you've noticed and are wondering, I'm using some of the excess glue that I'm wiping off to fill in a couple of screw holes on the top of my railing. That seals it a little bit better and water doesn't get trapped in there and start rotting out the wood. Now after putting a few screws to keep this downspout attachment in place, I'm going to cut a hole right in the center of the gutter to drain right down the downspout. Now I'm going to connect the two sections together. This will make it a little hard to carry around, but it's a lot easier to connect it all together on the ground instead of up in the air on the roof. So I'll need one other person to help me out by lifting this gutter up in place while I'll screw it from the roof. Now, when mounting your gutter on the house, it's important that it's going downhill towards the downspout. Water naturally flows downhill, so you don't want to trap the water in your gutters by not sloping it towards the downspout. So I'm going to use the fascia as a guide. I'll be dropping about an inch every 8 to 10 feet, and that should be plenty of slope for the water to gradually go down the spout. Now that the gutter is mounted on the house, I can start constructing the downspout. Now it's important that as you're building this from the top to bottom or bottom to top, that either way you do it, the fitting on top will go inside the next fitting or the next pipe. So this really just keeps the water flowing down the spout instead of getting caught on the edges and leaking out the side of the spout. They designed it this way purposefully for that reason. Now I have a couple brackets here to hold the downspout up against the wall. So I'll screw these into place and then I can just snap the downspout onto the wall and it will hold it in place. Now I'll be putting one bracket for the top and one for the bottom for this 8-foot section. Now that I have everything cut and in place that where I want it, I can put a couple screws on each fitting to hold it in place. Now there's really no reason to seal these joints because they're not going to be leaking as long as you have the one above it inside the fitting below. Now I've got another section to build on the other side of my addition. It's basically the same except the one side, the long side, is about a couple feet longer. So not much is different. I'm going to speed through this real quick and show you guys how I mount this on the roof. Without having a porch to stand on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to use the extension ladder to get up 2 stories to mount this on the roof. So I'll show you guys how to do that in just a minute. Now I needed some help holding this in place while I got in a couple screws. My pitch on the roof isn't that steep, so I can easily work from the top on this, but you really do need help holding a gutter of this size in place while you can screw it. So now that I have that all in place, I'm going to build the downspout. Same as the other one, I want it to be as similar as possible, basically mimic the other. Now here's the addition we're building. I have the gutters on, they look great, matches really well. But if you're interested in seeing some more videos, I'm going to be posting a video of each process I just did. My last video was the siding. You can go check that out. The next one will be wiring and installing all the electrical boxes, switches, outlets, and light boxes. So check that video out as well. Now the day after I installed, the rain came and it was a great test to see if I did the job right. And I did. It works really well, no leaks, and it's sloped just enough to keep the water flowing smoothly and comes out the downspout just fine. So I'm really happy with this. I left the downspouts up a little high. This is because I'm going to be adding in a water collection system, so I'll be putting a pipe across the ceiling to tie these two together and go right into a water tank. I'll be using that to water the garden throughout the summer and just use a lot less water to keep that going. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to help support my channel, you can do so by clicking on the link down in the description of this video, and that will take you to my Patreon page where you can pledge to support my channel. I've got also a lot of really cool perks only for my supporters, so if you guys think that sounds cool, go check that out. So hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Also hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.